Hello, this is Myra Elaine on the Buying Space channel. Today I'm going to recap Leviticus, and I'm going to do that by doing a review of J. Ellsworth Kalas, A Hop, Skip, and a Jump Through the Bible. This publication was in an old binder that I had that years ago I had hole punched the first 2 pages incorrectly. This is by Abington Press from Nashville, Tennessee. And so I come to the part about Leviticus, and I had to laugh at his summary of Leviticus, because this is pretty much what I thought before I started doing an in-depth study of Leviticus. A lot of people are scared of Leviticus, as I said in my introduction. So here, let's see what he says. This video is for educational purposes only. This is not a paid promotion. I'm not making any money on this video from the publisher or the author or from YouTube. This is completely a voluntary reading. And speaking of laws, we are ready to enter the book of Leviticus. This book gets its name from the tribe of Levi, a tribe from which Moses himself came. As I mentioned earlier, you've probably been told that the book of Leviticus is tedious. I found it to be fun. Someone may even have confided that they wonder why it is included in the Bible. I no longer wonder that. Well, believe me, it has its place in the plot. Okay, the Bible is not a story. It is not fiction. It is nonfiction. So, plot alludes to fiction. Before I go further, let me tell you something about the tribe of Levi. At one of the critical junctures of the book of Exodus, a time when it appeared that the nations had abandoned God, and worse, they had done so under the leadership of Aaron, Moses' brother and confidant. Moses threw out a challenge to the nation. Who is the Lord's side? Come to me. Immediately the sons of Levi gathered around him. And that's in Exodus 32, verse 26. From that time forward, the Levites were set aside as the priestly tribe. So it was a choice that they made to worship Yahweh over other gods, over the golden calf. In practice, they were much more than simply the religious leaders. They provided music for worship. They were also caretakers of the place of worship. Then the place of worship was a portable temple. They were the porters who took the building down, carried it to the next place, and reassembled it. We might think of them, therefore, as the church staff in a modern congregation. No, but I get the sentiment. But again, the Levites were much more. They taught. They taught the laws of God to the people. Call them then their Israel's teachers. They were interpreted the law, calling them lawyers, theologian lawyers, because only the law the people had was the law of God. So that was to interpret the law, was to consecrate the will of God. They may have had other laws at that time. Egypt had laws. This when they were a new nation, they were making their laws. When certain critical health issues arose, particularly those related to the most dreaded diseases at the time, they usually referred to as leprosy. It was Levites who examined the afflicted and determined the seriousness of illness. So call the Levites, if not doctors, medical counselors. In total, we might refer to the Levites as the nation's clergy, musicians, teachers, temple attendants, lawyers, and doctors, in a sense, the nation's professionals. Okay. In total, we might refer, the rest of Israel were farmers and herdsmen. The Levites had no land of their own, but they were assigned 48 cities among the tribes. The other tribes supported the Levites by their titles, their offerings, a portion of the goods or income. Now, let me be honest with you. The book of Levites is an acquired taste. It may take you a while to appreciate its meticulous attention to detail, its careful lists of clean and unclean animals, its prescriptions for ritual cleanliness, and concern for ritual and moral holiness. A great many years ago, a teacher of mine referred to Leviticus as the book of sacred etiquette. It was appropriate word. You will appreciate that this book is all if you listen for two phrases that appear and reappear, like a symphatic theme, or if it was a symphony, is what he means. I am the Lord your God, and you shall be holy, for I am Lord your God, am holy. So he's saying that modern culture is not much given to Leviticus, which I agree. A lot of the Levitical laws and the rituals all allude to Jesus and the time of Jesus and the symbolism and the 7 species of Israel and the coming into the promised land. All of these things that Leviticus talk about is relevant. The history of the Jews, the Hebrews, the Israelis, and all of them, no matter what class they are in, if they consider themselves Jewish or not. And Jewish people live all over the world. The history of Christianity would be changed if it weren't for the book Leviticus and that the Jewish people followed these rules. Jesus went to the temple at least 3 times a year during the 3 festivals mentioned in Leviticus 23. He was at the temple in John chapter 7 during the festival of Tabernacle and Booths, which is directly related to when the Jews were in the desert. It's directly related to the history of the Passover that happened in Egypt. It's all related to each other. It's all symbolic of each other. These things happen for a reason. And if you are a Christian, you should understand the book of Leviticus. You should read it. You should understand the symbolism. There's some pretty bizarre stuff in Leviticus, like the ritual for cleansing of leprosy, where they dip a live bird into water and the blood of its mate for that ritual. There are some herbs in Leviticus that are significant. to healing. It's just full of rich culture and, yes, some weirdness, but it's not boring. It needs to be in the Bible because those original temple rituals and festivals and timelines for the Jewish calendar all set the stage. Oh my goodness. Here we are talking about fictional terms again. All set up the sequence of events, I should say, that led to the life and ministry and sacrifice and resurrection of Jesus Christ. So Leviticus is highly important. I didn't really understand the majority of the New Testament until I started studying Leviticus. And anyway, I just wanted to do a recap of Leviticus. I'm getting ready to change from reading out of the Torah, which is just, the Torah is the first 5 books of the Old Testament. And that's what the Jewish people had for a large part of their history. And that's what they keep in their synagogues. They do have 22 books in their Tanakh. And I haven't really gone into what's in the Tanakh. But I'm going to start reading from a different version starting after the Festival of Weeks reading. After Pentecost, I'll be reading from a new version. And I wanted just to do a recap. We're in Leviticus chapter 23 in the narrative, and I took a segue to read the book of Ruth, which is read during the Festival of Weeks, which is this last spring harvest festival. You all have a wonderful and blessed day.